Let's get ready to suck it! I love Rick.
Yeah, I didn't even answer to games. Got an echo.
Yeah.
I see that. Let's fix it.
No. What else? No. Here it is. No. Ooh, echo.
Still behind.
Hey, can you the mic?
Oh, is that not? It's not on mute. Bottom left. Oh, you didn't turn it
We're not.
Now, here we go.
We didn't have our
we go.
real mics
Can
turned
you hear
up.
me?
Testes.
Do I sound
Testes.
So
ASMR.
this is how it
ASMR?
really works.
ASMR.
The summer.
Hey, I wonder if that'll get us some more views because people go dog shit over
Oh, yeah.
that. Like just knucking futs.
I'm licking my nutsack.
Whoa.
I like ranch Doritos.
That escalated
I
quickly.
love it. The Cool Ranch Doritos are the best.
I don't know.
ASMR.
I dropped my meat.
ASMR.
That's a cute one too, huh?
Yeah, that was a good one, buddy. I dropped my meat.
I dropped my meat. No.
Me too, a couple times.
I was trying to have this finished before we went live, but I wasn't able to do it.
That's all right. So how is everybody? We've got 3 people
Good.
right on time.
Good. Hey, I was gonna.
I'm so good. So tired, but so good.
I had a whole thing. I was gonna just jump in before we started. I was gonna be like,
Ladies
I
and
gotta
gentlemen,
set back a little
welcome.
bit. No, I was gonna be like, woo! But
Do you miss me? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Flair
bet you
style.
missed me.
we kind of shit the bed. Jeff is our guest this evening.
Yeah, you gotta.
I was going to say we need to move the camera a little
You
bit.
are definitely
So that he's
about
not
you
sharing
today.
the spotlight.
Visually joining us as
Almost
well.
feel more visible now.
There you go.
Oh, there I am.
How's that?
Hi, see me.
All right. Thanks for joining us,
You're welcome.
Jeff.
It's been a while.
That is your
has.
name, right?
That is my almost legal name.
Man,
My short
love
legal.
I love the freeze frames that they get of Mitch McConnell.
I know. He always looks like a lost turtle.
Yeah.
Never
is-
not.
The most unattractive dude I have ever seen next to Lindsey Graham. Like the two of them are two of the most.
You've got a
Fugly
face
dudes.
for radio.
Yeah.
How did you get into politics?
And I love the guy in the background, like off his shoulder, is just kind of like disappointed. Yeah, he's like,
disapproving
like
hedgehog
no,
back
no,
there.
no.
This fucking
Have you ever
guy.
noticed how Biden looks just like that old fart on the Jeff Dunham, the puppet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
yes,
does.
he does.
Yeah, he does.
Exactly.
Except
like
that puppet doesn't fuck children.
That we know of.
him.
Well, there is that.
That
Yeah,
we
I don't know that
of.
puppet. That puppet, you never know.
Ventriloquist, man. That's some shady shit.
It is. They're almost as disreputable as clowns.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunn, like, isn't he like kind of halfway canceled right now because of
Oh, I don't-
some of the racist stuff he has his puppets say,
Dude,
Ahmed,
he's
the
gotten
dead terrorist,
gotten
was
away
Or-
with all of that stuff for
or the culture? Yeah, but he's
A
gotten
long
away for
time.
it with a long time. But then now we're like, within the last 5 years, we've gotten pretty like.
They
Yeah.
pivot on people too. Like
Yeah.
shit that used to be acceptable just
Yeah.
all of a sudden is
Oh,
not.
yeah.
And then
It's
it's
possible.
like, fuck you.
Yeah,
He
the
was-
tide turns quick.
very post 9/11. He was huge with all of his dead terrorist stuff, and yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean he's.
I never really.
I
liked
think
Jeff Dunham
he's. I think
personally.
he's safe because he's got a big enough like fan
was-
base that isn't going to like the audience base that would try to cancel him already wasn't watching him to begin with.
Yeah. People always tried to pass him off as though he was this great, like, I don't know that I want to say family comedian, but kind of a like, you know,
Like wholesome.
Oh, yeah,
Wholesome.
he's on Comedy
Not
Central.
really.
Everybody watch him. He is very far from. He's got a lot of hate speech in his stuff.
Yeah, just because my dad likes it doesn't mean
it's
it's family
weird.
friendly.
Yeah.
It's some of it is just like, wow, man. All right, racist much?
Lord shares why she chose an album cover so racy it can't be shown
Can't
on
be
TV.
shown on TV. Huh?
It's not that bad.
Lord, is that Madonna's daughter?
Is she?
Or am I thinking of?
No, I think
She's the Royals
she's
girl.
Randy Marsh
Oh.
from.
Okay. From South Park?
Yeah, from South
Yeah,
Park.
She's just wearing a.
The cover of her new album, Solar Power,
Well, now I
features the
wanna see
star
it.
wearing a bikini bottom and a yellow rash guard on a beach shot from a very low angle. Because
Yeah.
it's, well, you scrolled too far. Because
You
it's
can-
taken from beneath her, you see a lot of Lord's body, and apparently the picture is too racy to even be shown on network TV.
Uh-huh.
So
It's not.
It's not.
It's like
I
all
can't see her
bullshit on that.
snatch.
They show so much stuff on network TV. This is all just a
Yeah,
publicity thing.
these people not seen Hannibal.
This is all a publicity.
The things they write today are like
a crock.
like it's like they got somebody they pulled they took a time machine,
Yeah.
went back in time and grabbed a dude from like 1985, and he's like comes
This
back
is
he's like,
so
gosh, this is really
It's racy.
racy.
It's not.
Look at her ankles. Damn.
Well, you can. She's wearing a G-string.
I was gonna say, can we like scroll up and see if can you click on one of those links and see
Lord.
if it shows
Oh, that'll probably show you right there.
the picture that is so allegedly racy?
That's not her body.
That's not it. Have you seen the picture, Hudds?
Yeah,
So you'll be able to identify it if I click the right.
yeah,
It's on her album cover.
yeah. Just put in
Yeah, I was
Lord
gonna
Solar
say, just-
Power album cover.
Yeah. Can you?
Is it Lord or Lordy?
Lord
I think
A.
it's Lord.
I don't know.
Lord.
I think it's Lord.
I think if it was Lord A, there'd be a little line above the E or something.
Be like Sade.
Yeah.
Smooth operator. See, that's not
Oh,
bad.
That is
Yeah.
what they're
Yeah,
upset about. Okay.
I can't even see her lips. It's not worth.
Uh,
It's not worth people.
I think
Do they
what I
show-
think where it's
okay, I
where
don't
they
get it.
consider it racy is that it leaves a lot to a young man's
Imagination.
imagination.
It doesn't leave anything to the imagination.
But look at all
except
that
what
crap
a vagina
to
actually looks
the
like.
right. It shows a leaves a little to the imagination over there too.
Dude, you
That's true.
see more on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover, and that's in every grocery store and gas station right there at the register.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. That's I smell a publicity stunt. This is
Well, that's why she.
we're
put-
gonna get people talking about our album cover by
Mm-hmm.
making it sound like it's racy when it's.
Well, people want to zoom in and just see if there is.
She's got a
anything that you
good-looking
can see.
undercarriage, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Makes me want to be a flounder. Just lay down and
Undercarriage.
look up.
I don't.
What a great phrase, undercarriage.
I don't mind her. I'm not real crazy about the face or the hairstyle choices or even the cones, but she's not a bad-looking girl. From
Normally we don't do 2 articles,
waist,
but
yeah.
this jumped out at me, and I think it.
Tasmanian devils were given a safe island home. Then the devils slaughtered 3,000 penguins.
Yes.
3,000 penguins?
Have
Holy
these
cow.
people never seen a Bugs Bunny cartoon?
Right?
Or they obviously don't know how what a keystone species is.
Yeah.
This is tantamount to like playing with DNA.
An effort to
Yeah.
save
Yep.
the Tasmanian devil population has resulted in another species being wiped out. Whoops.
Oops.
Oh,
You're
man.
meddling with powers you can't possibly comprehend. Jesus.
About a decade ago, 3,000 little penguins called Maria Island, an island east of Tasmania, their home. But when Tasmania devils were introduced in 2012, the pangolin population slowly started to decrease. Tasmanian
Go
devils are
figure.
known to prey on birds and fish.
Look at them, though. They're just.
It's just a little
They're
cute
so
little
cute.
like.
Oh, no. It looks like it'll fucking kill you. Look at that face. It looks like a giant
Fierce.
wharf rat.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I will fucking eat you. Look at that
It has
face.
calluses on its nose.
It does.
Yeah.
Probably
From-
from fighting
from
over
fighting.
penguin
Yeah,
flesh.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, there's penguin eggs over there. I better eat those too.
Wow. So they moved him there. Oh, there's no public vehicles and roads. It was deemed an ideal location for the devils. In 2012, only 28 devils were released on the island, which grew to 100 by 2016. Although the loss of penguins is sad, it doesn't come as a surprise to some.
Oh, jeez. Every time humans have deliberately or accidentally introduced mammals to oceanic islands, there's always been the same outcome: a catastrophic impact on one or more bird species. Oh, man.
Speaking of birds, what the hell is going on with birds around here? Like, I didn't even know we had pelicans, and I've seen like 3,000 pelicans this year.
Oh, I've
Climate
seen
change,
them
man.
forever.
And there's, see, that I hear that too. Oh, they've been here forever. Have they?
Well, I guess not pelicans, storks. I've only seen a few pelicans, but I've seen a billion storks.
They're always down by the Clearwater,
Yeah.
running past Clearwater Paper as you go out towards Orfino and stuff. I see them there all the time,
Yeah, you're talking about like the big.
or at least when I'm out
Yeah,
there. Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
they'll go down, dip out, and just have a
Yeah,
bucket full
no,
of
I've
river
never.
water.
I haven't seen them yet, but we've been talking about this. They're happening,
yeah. And
and
Rick
it's
sent a video to our group chat the other day with
That was wild.
this. There's 5 crows attacking a hawk, and the hawk clips one of them in the head. And then he sent a second video of him going and talking to the crow that was laying there, just blood all over it and shit. Like, holy God.
yeah. I mean, I wish he'd sent. He needs to put me in that chat. That
Yeah.
sounds like a fun story.
But
It was
you know, the crow and hawk war. I've seen eagles. I had the window open the other night, and I heard an eagle screaming at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know that eagle. I mean, it sounded just like the sound effect you hear when.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did all these birds come from? And where are the pheasants? I remember there being shitloads of pheasants when I was a kid.
And quail as well.
Yeah, you don't see
And you
quail.
don't see,
I remember there being elk when I was a kid.
Yeah,
In and around the area.
Yeah, like
Just in
you
town.
just you
Like-
drive to Potlatch or something, you look out in any field and you just see a whole herd of elk. When was the last time you saw a herd of elk?
that's
Yeah,
been-
well, even when I go to Montana now, I don't see like. You get to see it sometimes in like fields and stuff, but you can't like when you go out hunting, you don't see as much. Like you used to be able to road hunt.
Mhm.
You can't do that so much anymore. You actually got to get out and go.
There's a
somewhere.
deer at the lodge the other day.
Yeah,
Just
but you
hanging
guys
out.
have deer or there's deer out there occasionally.
Yeah,
I had a deer in front of my house the other day. My neighbor said he saw a cougar in front of our house about
Jesus,
6 months ago.
that's
I
not
heard
cool.
something.
That's insane.
I swear I
We've
heard
had a
something
raccoon here.
growl outside of our camp when I was up there this weekend at night.
Where was your camp?
Up in Elk River.
Oh, okay.
But no elk. You didn't see any
And
elk.
they-
the fucking
well,
place is called Elk River.
My mom was telling me that allegedly, I don't know if it was a couple weeks ago or something, that there was a cougar sighted around the area.
There was one walking down Main Street in Assotin not too
And
long back.
I don't know. Like I said, I only heard it once. I didn't see anything or anything like that. But I swear, I was just sitting by the fire listening to music, and everybody else had gone to bed. It was getting late. It was almost midnight. I was getting ready for bed, and I swear I heard something, but I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was a fun camping trip, though.
So I got a little story, anecdote, if you will,
Here we
before we
go.
get into our main topic for the evening.
All right.
But the other a couple days ago, my wife was in our sectional, and she was reclined, and it's one of the ones that you push the button and it kicks out the legs, and
It's electric?
yeah, it's an electric one,
Okay.
and so it's got the little bar inside with and it spins,
The screw?
and screws it out, yeah, and and she goes to close it, and she hears this big like and so then she opens it back up, and our cat Tiger comes out, and just with this like bewildered look on his
Jesus.
face, and it's just kind of like, and then he takes off, and then a little while later she notices like this whole patch, like at the base of his, where like the end of it, like where his ass meets the tail.
shit.
Uh-huh.
There's this whole patch of hair that's like this long, that's just like stripped down to the skin, like one of those hairless cats.
Yeah.
And
Yanked it out.
Yeah, machines have no...
It just, and so she
Anything.
couldn't get it to like the chair to go back
In.
all the way. And so I got down there, and I'm finally, because we were like looking before, and I'm like, I don't see any hair down here, so I don't know where it is. And so then, but it got like wrapped up in that screw gear. That's
Jesus.
California Common.
That's fucked up.
And So I had to take a lighter and like singe out the hair.
That's
so
what
that I
happened to this.
Get
How'd
it
that
out.
smell?
Oh, awful! I
I-
could smell it all day after that.
I'd set it in the recliner, like between the cushion and the arm, and
Uh-huh.
it fell down. And I went to close the
Oh,
the thing, and it just scraped it.
Crunch.
So like the iPad itself is fine. It's just the case that's scratched, and I just
Yeah.
don't want to spend the money on another case. So I'll give it another year or so, or I'll just tear the plastic shit over the top of it out.
right.
We
But-
almost caught the dog in the couch. We have an electric couch. We have an electronic couch. And yeah, the dog almost
self-driving.
Right, yeah. The dog almost got caught in there, but fortunately she's a great big fat ass, and when the thing started to go down, it
Nice.
met some fat
That's what they
dog
need. They need
resistance.
sensors in the chairs like you have for garage doors and
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't
You
catch
said
the,
you said you had a dog bed tail, or were you just doing some word association?
No, you said cat.
Yeah.
Cat sofa something, and
Cat
I
recliner
was just,
store.
I
Or
was
cat.
like,
Oh, you were just
I was
doing like
like-
word association.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you had like a story. That's what I was.
Oh no,
Oh,
I
that's
said,
why I
just
threw that
said
in.
See, I
I
can do it too.
I
It's
could
funny.
just throw out the name of an animal, a piece of furniture, and a story as well. Because you put cat recline or cat
Cat recliner
Monkey.
story.
sofa story.
Monkey
Yeah.
love seat tail.
Yeah. No stories from the dog realms. I guess Alex rolled over Chewy last night with with a cripple cart.
Oh,
Chewy's like,
A year ago today it's the anniversary of when Shiva got attacked when we were camping. Got attacked by fucking that owl or bird or whatever it was that got her. That
Little dog?
yeah, little Jack Russell mix, and got attacked. It's gnarly. It left like a 7 or 8 inch long gash in her back. It was. I thought she was gonna die.
You
It
see
was
the video where the
terrifying.
people, they nurse this rabbit back to health, and they go release it in their backyard, and it runs like 30 feet, and an owl swoops down and catches it.
like a pure
Just-
Family
just-
Guy moment.
Yeah.
Oh man.
that's great.
Not to totally go off, but there's another one here. It says your first look at Halle Berry as Ariel in Disney's live-action reboot.
It's not Halle Berry. It's
What?
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
Oh,
I was gonna
I
say-
totally saw.
I read
did
it as
too.
Barry. I read it as Barry too, because as
All
soon
I
as
could
I hit
think
Halle
was-
B, I was like Barry.
I was like 40 years ago, maybe. Like, how old is Halle Berry? She's a good 20 years older than I am.
She's at least 50.
Okay.
No, because she was pretty young. Like when was it Boys in the Hood?
I think so.
She was in Boys in the Hood.
Any Given Sunday? She was in something with... Where she was like...
The first movie I remember her in
Network.
was that James Bond one.
1966.
Oh, yeah. See, she's mid-50s.
Yeah.
50... What does it say? 4. So she's
Yeah.
14 years older than I am.
She's about almost 12 years older than me.
And I would say like late 80s Halle Berry would have been perfect for The Little Mermaid. I got no problem there, but she's 54. She can't be playing mermaids
I
anymore.
think.
Jungle Fever.
Yeah,
Strictly
executive
Business.
decision.
Last
The-
Boy
Last
Scout.
Boy
That was
Scout.
what I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
The executive decision, the one with Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal. She was the flight attendant. That's the first thing I really remember her from.
Oh, that's one where Seagal lasts like 2 minutes.
Yeah, where he dies in the
Yeah.
beginning of it. Yeah.
The whole reason I watched that show is because I actually liked him back then.
Oh.
And
Didn't we all though? I mean,
yeah, he
to an
was like
extent,
a-
yeah.
a symphony of broken limbs.
Yeah, we had a big Steven
the
Seagal
coolest thing about
conversation.
Seagal back in the day is he would never get touched ever.
No.
Like he might get punched in
No,
the face
they would-
once, but that would
And
be
he
it.
would just like turn.
Yeah,
Like, nope, you can't hit me, and I'd
Yeah.
break your arm.
yeah,
Oh, now your leg's broken. Oh,
yeah. But
everything's broken.
executive decision, all the trailers, he was like
Prominently
major league,
displayed.
you know. And so we
It was
go
a bait
watch
and
it.
switch.
And, yeah, last,
Yeah, they kill him in 2 minutes.
Wound up
Minute and a
being a Kurt Russell vehicle. It was a good movie though. John Leguizamo was in it.
yeah. He's
Oliver Platt was in it.
Leguizamo's a great actor.
He has some range.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, he does.
And
He
they
has
were in
some
the
terrible
John Wick
stuff,
movies
too.
together too. How about that?
I didn't
that's
even
right.
realize she was in. She's in the third one, huh?
Yeah, she has the dogs.
She was in the Kingsman
And
sequel. I
she-
forgot about that.
She keeps pace with Keanu.
Oh yeah, she trains with him.
Yeah.
Boys, 2017 was her KKK year.
No.
All three of those
What's that first one?
kidnapped.
Kidnap.
That's
What's
the
the-
one.
Oh, that
where
was
she's
horrible.
the
Kingsman,
911.
what's
Kingsman
the-
and then
what's the-
Kings.
Kings.
I've never seen Kings.
I haven't either.
Nope.
I haven't seen Kidnap. I haven't seen the.
Oh,
Golden
don't
Circle.
even waste your time with Kidnap.
Yeah, there's just so many like non good movies anymore.
Oh, there is.
Oh yeah.
I don't
They
even
just
get my
churn
expectations up
them
anymore.
out. What's that?
I don't even get my expectations up anymore.
I think that's why I enjoy so many movies now, because I'm like, this is probably going to be crap, and then I'm surprised.
Yeah, Black Widow's coming out soon.
'Cause
Yeah,
even-
I mean, we picked out a couple this weekend to check out, and I was like, they ended up just being kind of like-
even the worst stuff that's come out in the last 4 or 5 years isn't awful. Like, you can sit through it and be like, well, I probably wouldn't do that again, but I don't feel like... I mean, the worst movie I can think of that I've seen in the last 10 years is probably Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And it just because they were trying to do something that director was not going to be good at.
I like the bigger tentpole movies, but every once in a while I'm looking for like some sort of indie feel to a movie, and it's like about 1 in every 7 are actually decent, and then you get those ones that are just that you think are going to be good, and then you tune in, and it's like it's kind of
A lot of them are just meandering crap.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my movies anymore. I want you to get to the point. I don't want to sit through, like, I don't know, navel contemplation and fart smelling. I just don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the last Suicide Squad
Yeah,
trailer came out
Matthew's
yesterday. It was
correct,
pretty
yeah.
kick-ass.
New,
When does that hit?
November, he said. That's
Allegedly.
crazy long way out for
that's-
having their last trailer come out today.
That's crazy. That's
Oh,
going to
they
be a
got a
long
new trailer
time
out?
away.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah, it was introduced by Jai Courtney. He's like, "Oh no, it's not time to do it
Captain
now,
Boomerang.
but I'm gonna give it to you. Nobody here's gonna tell me no." Like, really?
I'm excited for that.
They've just
That
been
should be
trying to
fun.
make that dude happen, and Captain Boomerang's probably his second best role,
Yeah.
which isn't saying much because that movie was kind of meh. It
Yeah.
wasn't terrible.
Was
but
he
Oh,
was
I
he
hated-
in
I hated
the
that movie
It's like a
so passionately.
smashed together commercial.
was he in the second Die Hard
Yup.
reboot movie
He
as the
was-
son?
Yeah, he was. John
That
McClane's
was such
son.
a fucking throwaway movie.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was.
anything
That could have been that was
Well-
it was like a movie that they're like, we need a Die Hard movie. Here's a shitty script. Let's just change his name to John McClane.
That's how all the Die Hard movies after the first
I
one
would
were.
I would say
It was literally a shitty script that they redoctored to make
Yeah.
a John McClane movie.
Three was good.
3 was good.
3 was great,
2 was
Yeah, I like
crazy.
3.
but
That dude doing like naked kata at the beginning. and
Yeah,
then taking
Live
over
Free
the-
or Die Hard. Not
I enjoyed
terrible.
that.
I had fun time
now
with that.
was
That's one I
that the
can
one with
continue to
Timothy
watch.
Olyphant?
Yeah.
Timothy
Yeah,
Olyphant.
see, I was gonna say that movie was decent just because of the bad guys.
But
Timothy
the-
Olyphant and,
But
But
Maggie
A
Q.
Good Day to Die Hard. That's the one with Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
I can't.
F that.
I stopped. I'm like, I'm not even adding this to my collection.
I've never stayed awake through it. And it was one that my ex-wife bought on Blu-ray and is now permanently on my iPad because of it. Because you could put the code in and you could have it
Oh yeah.
a digital
Yeah.
copy along. You remember when they did that for a while? I don't
Yep.
even think they sell Blu-rays anymore.
No, they still sell digital copies because my son
Oh,
collects.
his hard copy.
Yeah, he has,
collection.
and he gets excited
saw
when
a
there's a
thing-
digital copy too.
I saw a thing today actually that said
'cause then you never
Disney
have to open
is holding firm to their plan that they're not going to release WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier on Blu-ray.
Good.
I was
They don't need
interesting.
to.
That's interesting.
Fucking Loki is balls.
No physical
Loki's
What a
media.
pretty-
great show.
Oh, it's
It's
been
good.
so good.
Every
so good.
second of that
So
has been
good.
good. And I don't know, best Owen Wilson since like Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
agree. Have you
mean-
watched Bliss yet?
Very
Is that the
sad
one with
there's only
the
6
Salma Hayek?
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Haven't
wasn't
seen
too
that
bad.
one.
But
I haven't finished. I'm about 20 minutes from finishing it, but I enjoyed what I saw of it.
yeah,
It's different.
It was different, but it wasn't Wedding Crashers worth watching. And this, he and Tom Hiddleston just work together.
Yeah. Well, and like, yeah, Owen Wilson's right in his like wheelhouse.
I think
Yeah,
I believe my parents watched Bliss and I caught some of it. I was not impressed.
It's like I said, it's different. It's okay.
Yeah,
But I was-
what I saw of it.
So I was stuck in an airport
And this is from a guy
For-
who loves shitty movies.
for a couple days,
I don't know.
and so I was relegated to watching movies on my phone sitting in the airport.
Yeah.
And so
Been there.
See, I think if
Yeah,
if I
it's-
was in that situation, I probably would have found it more enjoyable.
yeah, well, because
What
you're engaging and trying to like.
What I saw
Ignore
of
your
it, I was like,
circumstances.
this movie seems kind of stupid.
Yeah, I don't think I've been avoiding starting it at home.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones I'm like, oh, I'll throw it in the download list, and if I'm bored enough, I'll
What was
hit
it
it.
on?
Prime.
Prime.
On the same note, I downloaded that the Frank Stallone documentary.
You
Which-
said it was good.
Was
Really?
actually real. I recommend it. I highly,
Huh.
because there's stuff
I'll bet
about
that's
Frank Stallone
interesting.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Like
I bet that's
he's got a
interesting.
huge musical background,
Really.
and he's bitter. A little like there's some bitterness because of like he was actually his career was going before
Sly.
Sly's career was going, and then.
Yeah, but was it really?
But then Sly used
know.
him. Well, I mean, like he was around with all those bands up and coming in the 70s
Yeah.
and shit, and,
Yeah.
or in the 60s and 70s, and so he was like within that world, but he could just never get going. And then he
Couldn't break
kind of
through.
got a breakout when his brother used his music in Rocky, and he's in Rocky.
Yeah.
And then I think when he directed whatever the sequel to, like, there's the BG movies, the John Travolta ones, Saturday Night Fever,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Saturday Night Fever.
whichever
It's
one
like
was the sequel.
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
Yeah.
Because the Bee Gees did most of the music for the first one, and then they like bowed out for the second one. And I think some of their music's in there, but then there's a whole story that they go over in this movie, and it was. And so then a whole bunch of his music gets worked into it.
That's pretty
Interesting.
awesome.
And
And this is on Prime as well.
yes,
Huh.
I'd watch it. I mean, I'm not
I'll
like
have to check that
I know Hudds is like I don't like being told what to watch,
Well,
but
I don't know. There's
but
a lot of
I'd be interested
documentaries
to
I'm just
hear
like-
what your
But
take
then-
on that is.
I watched a documentary just yesterday, night before last, maybe. I fell asleep to it, but it's the hunt for the Skinwalker, and they're talking about Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. Fucking fascinating, but it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
Oof.
Like you can't.
That's that mockumentary, isn't it?
No, this is a legit documentary, and they ended up making a whole series out of it.
Yeah,
I think
they
it's on the
have that
second.
TV show on it now,
that's kind of like the Secrets of
which
Oak
is
Island or
kind
something.
of retarded.
But this documentary is just crazy.
Huh.
Like cattle mutilations, like this wolf that they shot like 17 times and it just kept coming.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. I saw that one.
And
There's a mockumentary on it too. It's
Damn.
kind
Is
of
there?
like the Blair Witch
Excuse me.
Project.
oh,
Damn.
And then there's the documentary, and then they have the TV show. And the TV show, they bring out all of these radio instruments to measure the RF of different things, right?
of course they do.
Yeah, and I mean, I work with cell phones every day, and I deal with repeaters and boosters and things like that, and I have meters that are just like that, and you can stand outside almost anywhere and get the readings that they get on that stupid show. So I'm like, this is such a joke.
You guys, is douchebags.
Wait, so Zach Baggins is full of shit?
Wait, guys.
I'm like, yeah, somebody probably just turned on their microwave like in the truck,
It's definitely a ghost, guys. Definitely some form of
Did you ever see
spectral
that SNL skit where Hugh Laurie was hosting,
operation.
and
I don't believe so.
they had like the night sensor, or they were doing like it was like ghost hunters basically was the skit they were doing,
Okay.
and he farts, and so then it becomes this whole thing centered around his fart, but they're trying to attach to a ghost,
Oh god.
and he's trying to like avoid them going back into it, and then. And then they do like the infrared or the night vision. Well, let's check it out on night vision, and then you just see like the vapors.
Nice.
Oh, it's coming out of your ass.
That's good.
Man, they've
I
added
like
some
you,
shit
Lori.
to
He's
Prime.
funny.
Step Brothers is on Prime. The Wrestler, Dodgeball.
Like
John
boats-
dies at the
Boats
end.
and hoes.
Boats and Ho.
I can't get
two-
enough of Step Brothers. I love that movie.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
I'm burying you.
It's one of my favorite Will Ferrells.
Yeah.
it was. I think it was their last good one.
Teabagging my drum set.
Yeah,
Did you touch my drum set?
I didn't enjoy. Like, I tried to watch the Sherlock Holmes one.
It was bad.
I didn't even try.
Farrell's he's hit and miss. He's never been like right on point with me.
It depends on his role. Like if he gets the right role, he does a great job.
Right.
But
No, Matthew. Sorry.
Who wants to watch Step Brothers?
Let's watch Step Brothers. Not
Boats
yet.
and Hoes.
Not yet, sir. Sorry.
Not yet.
The other one. Who's the other? Oh, Adam Sandler. I used to
I
love
would,
Adam
I would
Sandler.
take Will Ferrell over Adam Sandler all day, every day.
same
And
here.
Will
The
Ferrell
only-
is not always a hit for me either. There's a lot of his stuff that I really genuinely don't like, but I don't care for Adam Sandler.
I've only enjoyed
I used
two
to love him.
Sandler shows.
Happy Gilmore and
Happy Gilmore and The Wedding Singer.
Happy Gilmore is about the only one that I ever really liked.
I liked Happy Gilmore.
I didn't even like Billy
I like
Madison.
I liked Billy Madison, but that was right in my age. Like that was right when.
I've
I
got
was
a
at the
soft
right age.
spot for Click because both Kate Beckinsale and Christopher Walken are in it.
Yeah, I like Click. Okay, I mean, and 51st States is all right, but there's just so much chud in between.
Yeah.
I did like the two roles that he did. The one where he's like inward person and he gets
Punch Drunk Love?
Yeah, I loved that show.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
the
liked
one-
it at the
one that he
time, but I
just-
don't think he had a lot of range.
yeah, and the one that he just did where he's the jewelry salesman or something like that.
Oh, that was like a 2.5 hour panic attack.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't.
and I don't
didn't,
have panic
I
attacks.
didn't. I didn't watch that because
Specifically because I
I've-
told you not to.
Well, everything that I had heard about it was like, yeah, watch this movie if you want to have anxiety for 90 minutes. And I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm good.
It's just
thanks.
nonstop.
I'm okay.
I don't like Adam Sandler for one, and I get anxious.
But
enough
I don't-
as it is.
I don't
need a
like
movie's
his
help.
humor at all because it's the same thing
It's-
in
it's
every show.
So sophomoric and
It's not like he hasn't evolved.
Dumb.
Like he tried to like
No.
evolve at some point in his career, and then he
it's
just
all
kind of
just
reverted back
silly
to the
voices
same bullshit.
and loud noises.
Nah, never
and
mind.
No thanks.
Somebody's closer.
never really did it for me. There was a few things that he did that I liked, but like he was good in Airheads. But
Yeah,
he
right.
Was, he
Yeah.
was
He
a
was,
small part.
ancillary
He was-
character.
yeah, he was a small part.
You know, the grown-up movies
Ugh.
aren't great, but they're not.
Ugh.
I didn't like any of
You
them.
you hold them up against some of his other work,
Kevin
though. They're
James
okay.
makes me want to puke.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I don't
hate
like it when
Kevin
all those
James.
comedians get together and do a show anyway. It's like they compete
No.
for the screen or something. It's
Yeah.
just
All of
irritating.
those movies are a fucking tax write-off for Adam Sandler and his friends to go to some exotic location. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Those movies, you look at them, they spend like, say they spend $20 million on those movies. The actors' salaries are very, very small parts of it because they just pay to take them. They're all friends.
It's just
so it's
you're
just all
it's
them
covering
and
the
their
catering
friends
and the
their
stay.
catering
Oh, yeah.
and shit. To just all go on this beautiful vacation. They film themselves being silly with like a loose script, if you can fucking call it that.
Yeah, I didn't even bother.
Yeah, dude, and then they write it all off.
But
And
you know, people say he is
people
the
go
most
watch it and
fun
it makes
to
$4
make a
million
movie with
and they
of
have
anybody.
a profit. And
Oh yeah, I
studio
mean
he's doing
you
it.
got all
It's
those guys making.
So I assume
the grown-ups movies.
it really is just that. Like,
what
let's
was the
go
other
have
one?
fun together.
Well, I read one
Right.
day that he specifically chooses roles that are in exotic locations just for that reason.
Yeah, they do that. It's a thing. What was the? Hang on a second, because it wasn't just the grown-ups movies. There was
Murder mystery.
one that he did recently. Oh, the Do-Over, the one that he did on Netflix with
that
him
was
and
so
David
fun.
Spade,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
were in an exotic location.
Yeah.
It's a thing
like,
that
oh,
they
I'm
do.
gonna go hang out with David Spade for a while. If you guys want to put some cameras on us and tell us to pretend to be something, we'll do
Yeah.
we'll do some D&D monitoring.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it, you're right, is just about him like maintaining those friendships, which I guess if you got the money to do it and you can like facilitate it, more power to you.
And if you're not paying for it.
Longest
Yeah,
Yard
exactly.
was fun.
Write it all off on the
The remake
studio's
of the
dime.
Longest
I
Yard.
like The Longest Yard.
They make enough of a profit to justify continuing to do it. and
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, I think they're starting to see diminishing returns.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I think that is part of the reason why he probably signed up the deal with Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at like he did that one,
It's Zoolander, Matthew.
the murder mystery or
Oh, yeah,
party
the
or
dinner
whatever
party.
one with
Oh, it's
him
horrible.
and Jennifer Aniston on the boat.
Yep.
Again, we're just gonna go on this luxurious cruise
Oh, and I get to
and
kiss
enjoy
Jennifer
ourselves
Aniston a
for
bunch?
4 weeks and
Rub up on her.
yeah,
for
like what a
fucking
horrible
12
deal.
days of shooting. Okay.
With my
Jennifer
wife.
What a
Aniston is
horrible
still
deal.
gorgeous. Like
Yeah.
knockout
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it's.
She's better looking than when she was on Friends.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even
I
know
may
how
not,
that
I may not
happened.
like the man, but I damn sure respect
You
the hell
you
out of
adore what
he
he's
is.
doing with his
yeah,
life.
It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really brilliant.
Yeah, he turned his
he turned his trade
half
into
retarded,
yeah.
quirky comedy bullshit records into. Oh, I'm gonna go get paid to go hang out on an island for
The very
Most
first
people try to
comedy
plan an
album I
exotic
bought was
vacation
his.
once a
They're all
year,
gonna
and
laugh at you.
They're all gonna
He
laugh.
gets
at you.
paid to go do one.
Yeah. They're all gonna laugh at you.
I remember listening to that when I was a kid. I'm like, what the fuck
I had to
is
put
this?
I
This
had
is
to put
the-
headphones. I started listening to it on my boombox, and I'm like, start listening, and I'm like, this is Adam Sandler from Saturday Night Live, and I'm probably 8th grade or something like that, and it starts like right in with like, I don't remember what the character's name, but it's like I got really hairy balls or whatever,
Yeah.
and so it starts with like it gets right into it pretty quick, and so I'm like, headphones,
shit.
headphones. I'm looking all.
Headphones, Dad. Headphones.
That
and
came
so-
out at the same time as like what was it, the Jerky Boys or something like
Yeah.
that?
right in
God,
that-
Those were crazy.
I always liked the Jerky Boys.
I
That was
I
cool.
did. I liked the Jerky Boys. What I heard of them anyway. I didn't. Didn't they make a movie?
Yeah.
I think so.
Jerky
Yeah.
Boys the movie.
Yeah.
Way to pull that title out.
I don't.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
I don't remember it very clearly, but I remember laughing. I'm sure it's probably dated, and I don't know if I'd laugh
funny.
at it as much as I.
The other day I pulled up because my kids are like so into like YouTube artists and stuff like that, and just the stupid shit that goes on YouTube, and I'm like, like I said, like I showed my kid, I'm like, I got him watching Jackass. I was like,
Oh,
this is the.
shit.
What
these
about
are
the Tom Green
This
show?
is.
I
This
haven't
is
Oh
seen
my
it.
Tom
God.
show.
When he
Oh,
painted
Jesus.
those lesbians on his parents' car.
Oh fuck, that was so funny.
like you think what you're watching now is like revolutionary. We've already done like
This is
Done
is
it.
a precursor.
And
The
it
only-
was so far beyond what you're seeing on YouTube. I mean, you can say, oh, well, Logan Paul and the Suicide Forest, but like Tom Green put an alligator in his parents' kitchen,
yeah.
or like the whole of Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah,
Teddy, would you
Dude,
like some
that
sausage?
movie is something else.
That movie's off the wall.
It is something. I cannot believe that movie got made.
From like 1998 to like 2004 was just a fucking
well, that whole
like
movie.
whoever was running MTV was just like money.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it discussed
That one.
in other places before, but it's really funny if you look at that movie and what the premise of it is about him going to Hollywood, quote unquote, and coming up with his show is his my hooves,
Yeah.
you know, the
Oh, my
people,
hooves.
and just how absolutely completely brain dead it is, and
Yeah.
like that they throw money at it. The whole movie is like a parody of the fact that they gave him all this money to make this movie, and so it's just a big fuck you of
Yeah.
like, you gave me all this money, so
And
I'm gonna
half the
have my
budget was
crippled
cocaine for
girlfriend.
Rip Torn.
Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna have crazy Rip Torn. I'm gonna have my crippled girlfriend who
And I wonder how
is
much
into
Shaq
S&M.
paid, or got paid to do. I mean, 15 seconds with the dude's mom in
Dude,
bed. You need to go have sex with
the
large
movie
black
is
basketball
just
players.
so
You just go be you, mom.
bonkers.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is just a big fuck you of like, I can do. You gave me all this money. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
He did.
Yeah. What a heyday.
You hear Helsinki? 50,000 fucking Deutschmarks.
Fucking Pakistan. That is the fucking best shit.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the new Borat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it really.
I guess in
wrapped
the
around
in
really
the
well.
Trump scene, he stayed in the bathroom for like 12 hours so he wouldn't get caught.
Shit,
That's crazy.
man. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've liked both of them.
Her and her hairy bush.
No, that was
It's amazing that they can do those shows without getting arrested.
I'm surprised he found a girl that was, I think she's 20, and she kept up with him and did not break.
She
was
was
phenomenal.
Yeah, really,
Like-
really impressive what she was able to
I don't think I
go
could
with.
not
and-
break.
Right. No, she held her own with him, and that was one of the most impressive things about it to me was
Oh yeah.
she was great.
And I talk a ton of shit about Jimmy Fallon and breaking all the time on Saturday Night Live when he was on.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some of those that I couldn't make it through either, and Borat is one of them. I don't think I could do one of those.
Yeah,
Borat
one
bits.
scene.
Like when they were talking to that lady making cakes, and then he went to the doctor, and his daughter had swallowed it.
The whole thing with the doctor.
I really think he just invests him like he just deposits himself into that character.
Yeah.
Like to the degree that he's just like, this is who I am.
He just
you have to because you just
because it's so
and you
absurd.
have to like maintain that whatever that innocence is of that character
Uh-huh.
to just be like that out of touch.
Yeah. And
I guess is
and
the
that
best way of
people
putting
just kind of go with it is wild.
Yeah,
I know
it's
there's some of
just
it's a
out of
little
it's like a
bit more-
courtesy. Some of it has to be
Yeah. Well, it must be
Plotted out,
easier
but-
in the South because people try and stay polite down there.
yeah.
And I guess rural communities in general, people are more polite than they are in the city.
We went to South Carolina last year, and the people down there, nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, yeah. It's wild. I couldn't be that nice in that much humidity.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be an absolute... Well, I'm already an absolute
And
fucking
food
prick.
was ridiculously cheap, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of places, I think I've talked. I think we're quasi having talked ourselves out of leaving the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, you're not leaving?
Have you been
Well,
in
I don't
places
know.
that
You're not
like,
Maine
"Oh,
bound
this is-"
anymore?
Well, fuck, Maine's getting like I saw fucking hurricanes and shit right now. I'm like, I don't want to move where hurricanes are.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Like-
normally get that far
like-
north.
And I told Nicole, I was like,
Boy, if you're
we have pretty like our weather here is pretty reliable.
It does not get better than here.
And so
weather-wise.
like I don't the summers get hot and I don't care for that much.
Mhm.
Like I enjoy it to a degree, especially if I'm using the heat of the summer to swim or to do what if I'm doing something outdoorsy. But I don't like air conditioning my house and spending the money. But
Yeah.
besides
spring
that,
and fall are really nice.
the spring and fall are nice, and the winters are pretty mild
Overall.
generally. I mean, our weather
Sometimes
it's pretty
they creep
real.
up to you in mid-June.
Yeah,
A couple
I'd
years
just
back,
say-
it snowed in fucking June. Like, what was that about?
yeah. I'd say it's reliable for the most part, though.
Yeah.
I'd say we're in an area that the weather is reliable enough, and I think like if we move out of Lewiston, we'll probably try to stay within the Pacific Northwest somewhere. And I don't know when that's going to be or if that's going to be. The other thing is we're growing here,
Yeah.
which is both good and bad, but
Yeah. I think overall it's a good trend.
the airport acquisition is a good
We can hope.
Are you excited about that?
Well, it's for us. It's not going to make that big of a difference right now, but it's the first step toward more flights,
Yeah.
Right.
and we need more flights.
We do.
Now, it
'Cause
would
we
be
gotta-
awesome if we had a flight to Seattle. It'd be awesome if we had another flight to Boise. We have one to Salt Lake and then soon Denver. And if we had those flights, then Lewiston would be pretty busy.
I know. It's
Yeah.
amazing that the Salt Lake one isn't a more regular flight, because Salt Lake goes absolutely everywhere.
Well, you know the Denver one is
That's another big
that's going to be
hub.
huge. That's
Yeah.
coming in October,
Mhm.
and that's going to be a big.
Well, and it's another airline.
It's a different
we're
airline.
not-
And
we're
a
not
whole-
getting
Yeah.
fingered in the ass by
Well, we're
Alaska
getting
Delta.
/Horizon.
International, not regional, too. We're getting.
Yeah. Did we lose Horizon? Did we just have Alaska?
We lost Alaska.
Yeah, but
But Alaska went to Pullman, but now that we have, or will have, is it United?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that whole board meeting thing.
I didn't watch it at all. I just read it.
those people just make me angry.
Lewiston.
It's a
I
lot of
fucking hate the
it's
airport
a
board.
lot of like just like self
Oh, people trying to.
like they just like
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Validate
sucking their
themselves.
own dick.
Yeah.
But the video that they did,
Like
the
watching
little
a goddamn city
the
council.
promo video that they did, kind of highlighting like the appeal of our area, was kind of cool. Like whoever put that together was like
You know, I
hit
don't
all the
understand.
points.
I
It's
wouldn't
got to
mind
be
not
the
seeing
city that's causing all the issues, because the Lewiston airport isn't that bad of an airport.
No.
I mean, really.
It's
I mean,
small, but that
yeah,
doesn't matter.
it's small, but the runway's nice.
Yeah.
And
it wouldn't
Yeah.
take that much work to extend the runway a bit, and we could land bigger planes.
Yeah,
But the city.
the city doesn't want Lewiston to grow at all.
No. The city
No.
council is full of fucking tools.
It sounds like we have some people that are in the position to make it or to want to make it grow a little bit more, but until we like push some of these
Yeah.
older minds out.
I
to-
hope November works how I hope November works, because there'll be some people who are no longer on the council who are shitbags, and if the Strong Mayor Initiative passes, we won't have that shitbag city manager that Nygaard dude.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of fucking terrible people who are in positions of power right now.
I need to get more in tune with local government. I
It's-
spend
it's-
too much time on national government.
And there's nothing we can do about national government. Idaho will always go red, so there's no point in us even worrying about it. And I mean, I'll go ahead and check that red box unless there's a libertarian to check. But you know, and luckily I've had a libertarian to vote for the last few cycles.
Yeah.
But
But it's the local government that's going to make any impactful change to what we're doing.
Yeah.
absolutely,
That-
And-
yeah.
and your city
And to
Those
see
are-
your city,
those are
like
the changes that you vote for. That
it'd
you
be
actually
nice to see
experience.
Lewiston have some more things to do. And there's plenty of opportunities for growth. We have like a lot of farmland that's either
Defunct
underutilized
or-
or is just like, you know, because they're farming differently. Like we're just evolving as a country.
yeah,
And so like there's plenty of room for us to grow.
Yeah, but
you look
every
at how
time you talk
look at how
about-
Coeur d'Alene grew in the last 22 years.
yeah.
You talk about any of the growth, and immediately people just jump down your throat with, "Oh, we don't need any more fucking Californians coming up here." And
It's terrible
Some of the
right
best
now.
people I've met that have come up here have been
The-
Californians.
I don't think it's for me. It's not the issue that they're Californians. For me, it's like, let's say that I wanted to sell my house and buy another house. I could most certainly sell my house,
Absolutely.
but chances are I wouldn't be able to buy another house.
Right.
yeah,
Right. Because you couldn't get into you could get into
I-
basically it's just a comparable exchange.
Yeah, either that or I wouldn't even be able to afford, because the cost of living down here or here is so much less than in California. And if somebody down there sells their house for $500,000 and they can buy a way lesser house for
300.
or even a nicer house for 300 and have 200 change, you know,
Yeah.
then they move up here and they get a decent job or whatever, and their house is pretty much paid for, and they have, you know, money in their pocket.
Absolutely.
And it pushes homeowners in our area out.
yeah.
Pretty
Well,
much.
that was what we were like when we were looking at Maine. The property values there are much less than here. Like we could get to a way better
yeah,
the
situation
value's a
with
whole lot
property.
higher.
yeah.
I mean, hell, our
Because you're
place.
getting acres of land for what you could get
A house for,
three bedroom
yeah.
right here.
But then you compare what we have to California, and they can. But like yeah, so when I was looking at Maine, I was like, man, I could move to Maine and I could live like a fucking king in Maine, but only if I could get a job
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would pay me comparable to what I'm
But typically,
getting here.
also the Californians and the other out-of-staters that are coming this direction, they're coming this direction for a reason,
Yeah.
and it's because they want out of the mindset of the people that are in the area they live.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, the people that do come this way typically have a similar mindset to the people that live in this area. So, I mean, they're nice people in that regard. But at the same time, the economic impact of it is
Yeah.
horrendous.
Well, yeah, because we're driving property values into a place.
I mean, hell,
that
I paid $123 for our house 10 years ago or 13 years ago or whenever it was, not too long ago. Got the assessed value of it a week ago, and it's almost $300,000.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
ours now
Yeah.
too.
Fucking awful.
Exactly.
And we paid. So we're because you can sell your house for greater than the assessed value.
Yeah.
And so we paid 7 years ago about, I think it was like $238 or something like that for this place, which was good at the time. But now we're which means it probably assessed at like two probably or 190. I can't remember what it was, but we had that information then. The other day we got our thing. It was like 280 for what we're, and it's like so I could sell. For
All,
like
all that does is make your
320.
taxes go up.
But all it does is,
Yeah.
now I'm going to pay more taxes.
yeah, I pay like 50 or not 50, probably $23 a month or something like that more a month in taxes. But
Yeah.
it's stupid.
And we expect it, like, with the high school coming in up here, and, like, they're doing a lot of development up here in the orchards since the high school's
Yeah.
going in.
Lots of
which
banks
is
and sleep centers.
Yeah, Jesus. Fuck. Can we get one more bank? I think we need another
Or
bank
a
up
gas
here.
station.
I can't
Or
remember the
a
last-
payday loan place. Let's get some more payday loan places. One on every corner,
Yeah.
every street.
I haven't walked into a bank for any other reason than to take my grandpa there.
I do it
in
all on my
years.
phone.
Yeah.
These fucking
Yep.
they throw up these fucking bills. They're going to be empty in 10 years
Yeah.
because there'll be someone doing it at home.
Or a dentist office. We get a lot of those too.
Jesus, no
There
shit.
are-
Every time I see new construction, I'm like, hopefully it's a restaurant.
I want
Red Robin.
Yeah,
I want a Red Robin.
Fucking yeah. Anything that's like serve us some fucking food. Give us some options.
I want
like
I don't
like.
steakhouse.
What are you gonna do today? Oh, I thought I'd go down to Banner Bank and make a deposit. Fuck. I mean, we got some better shit to do
Go
around
hang
here.
out. Go hang out in the parking lot.
Yeah. I mean,
Just like high school, hanging out in fucking parking lots.
Right.
What are you doing?
after I'm
Nobody
done at
does that
after
anymore.
I'm done at Banner, I'm
Dude,
gonna
you
go
would
over
not
to
believe how
American
many
West
people
and
do
make a
that.
withdrawal.
Do they really?
Oh, it's
Still?
insane.
I remember.
Getting off work in downtown Lewiston at like 9:30, almost 10 o'clock at night. Drive back around, along D Street to hit the Blue Bridge. Yep, there's.
Just
it's
douchebags
like a-
hanging out in parking lots.
It's like a flashback. Just people hanging out in parking lots, all standing around, staring at each other's piece of shit cars, trying to act like they're cool. Yeah, man, I'm working on this right now. I got something going on with the transmission, but yeah,
I remember those days.
yeah. It was 20 fucking years ago.
What are you doing?
Driving
to your
the
car?
loop.
And,
Nothing.
yep, driving the loop. People just standing around talking about nothing.
Yeah, but that was the thing to do back then. I mean, we didn't have shit to do. You have
Well,
When
yeah,
it-
you
from-
still don't. But I mean,
from
at least you have a
16
screen to,
to
stare in
20,
front of now.
You had nothing to do in this town. Nothing.
Yeah,
But I
they're
think it's
still
that
down
way
there.
everywhere. You graduate high school and you've got this period of time where you can't get into bars, which is where you really want to be at that time because, God, that's where everybody else is going.
Yep.
And then
I mean, you can't, but you're not allowed because
Right.
you're not allowed.
and you grow out of it.
And then so like by the time I hit 21, like I went through my bar phase in like 6 months, and I was done. Like I was
Right.
already done.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never really got out of it, but it's.
I just
You
don't
go in
enjoy
there
the
and you're
bar
just
very
hoping
much.
that it doesn't suck, and it always sucks.
It always does.
That's why.
It's
Yeah, that's
one of the
always
reasons why I
shitty.
don't really go. Is it
The-
always sucks.
the bar at the Elks is like my speed
That's
right
my
there.
jam right there. I
But-
love it over there.
Because it's
times
casual.
out of 10.
There's
Yep.
nothing. There's like you don't go in with expectations.
Yep, you can have one. You can sit down. You can have a conversation. You can leave, and it's just one is like four, but
Yeah.
and you can sit with anybody. You can talk to anybody, and it's never uncomfortable. It's fantastic. I love it out there.
No, 9 times out of 10, I go to the bar and I'm immediately reminded why I never go to the bar.
Yeah. Well, half the time it's so expensive
Well,
that
That's-
it's prohibitive to just
Idiot
go there
assholes.
cost-wise.
Yeah.
I remember back when you could go to the Red Lion and get a rattlesnake red, and it was like $1 a glass.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when I bartended there. It was
It's
awesome.
not that way anymore.
Well, we had comedy night, and we
Yeah.
had things like some things going on then.
Comedy night was the best time to go.
I
to the bar.
loved comedy night. We'd go to comedy night, and then we go to Lancer Lanes afterward and get the 50-cent little.
Maybe as we
50
grow,
centers.
we'll be able to get something like a
something going.
comedians coming through again, or music acts, or something like
Again.
other like outside of the casino.
Something, yeah, I was gonna say outside of Ludacris.
Yeah. Loot is coming.
Hey,
Nah,
Oh,
nah.
Rob Schneider! What?
fuck.
I don't even want
My
to see
son
that.
is like, he's like, oh wow, I can't believe Rob Schneider is at the Clearwater River Casino. I go, I can.
No,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I absolutely can.
He'd been playing
No,
second
thank
fiddle
you.
to Adam Sandler for so long.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Fuck his fucking face. Really?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Waterboy was pretty good too. Now that you mention it.
I remember
he had some
Waterboy.
decent ones.
I
but-
don't remember if I liked Waterboy, other than that's some high quality 820.
Yeah, it was stupid as fuck.
High
but
quality
it was
820.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Touche.
well, we better get into some generations
what you
Oh, yeah, we should.
talk.
It's already 7.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Time flies when you're having
Oh,
fun.
Man, I am fucking exhausted.
I had a long day of driving today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a car. I had to put it on my trailer.
Another one?
Yeah, I got another Suzuki. this one's a Samurai.
Where are you putting them all? Like,
Well, I'm
On the
getting rid of
trailer.
them. I'm getting rid of them.
are you?
Yeah. So
Okay.
one of them, I've got 5 or 6 now. I can't remember.
Jeez. All Suzukis?
Well, I've got 2 4-door Suzuki Sidekicks. One of them's I'm gonna make it our daily driver / hunting rig thing, camping vehicle. Another one I had to put a new engine in, and I'm selling it. And I fired the engine up last night. So first time I ever rebuilt an engine ever in my life,
Damn.
and it started. So that's good. And then I've got a Sidekick that I lifted and made it basically my side-by-side. I love it. It's my favorite thing. And then the Samurai is going to replace my Sidekick.
So I gotta, before we get into our discussion, I have a question for you. How easy would it be, because you have a unparalleled skill to be able to cycle through like you're like the barter man of my dreams. I have a little go-kart and a Power Wheel
Okay.
that I need to get rid of. I don't want to give them away.
Just put it on Facebook.
I tried that.
How much should you list the Power Wheel for?
I don't remember, like $100.
That's too much.
You think so?
Do it at 50. Yeah,
Do it at
they're like
50?
200 new. Do it at 50.
It's lightly used, but they're gonna have to get a new battery for it probably.
Yeah, do it at 50. It'll go.
Okay.
It'll
What
go.
about the
The go-kart?
the go kart?
Is it in nice shape?
It's barely used. It's in
How
good
many
shape.
hours? That's what they care about in the
Yeah, if
non-road bearing.
if there's no
vehicles.
hour meter on it, just say less than 50 hours or something like that.
Less than 20 probably.
Yeah.
It's like it was the story with that is my wife's grandpa won it from a drawing at a grocery store.
Oh, well, put that in there.
Yeah, just say we won it in a drawing, or my wife's grandpa won it in a drawing.
You should be able
And
to get $200 to $300
It's
bucks
taking
out
up
of it.
space in my garage. I'd like $300 for it because that's what it's worth. I could go salvage it for half that, or somebody could get some fucking use out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get that much in salvage, but fuck, what do they know?
It's a small go kart though. It's probably not worth $3, but I could probably get a.
What does that have,
75 to
like a
100.
lawnmower engine or something?
Yeah, it's like something like about like that big.
Okay.
I'll show it to you when we're
Yeah.
done. But yeah, just a side
Yeah.
question. I
Unless
need to get
one
rid
of our
like,
2 viewers wants to buy it.
Yeah, I
Hit
mean
him up. At Time Spent Poorly. Or TSPN, right?
TSPN Media on
Send
Twitter.
me a picture.
Yeah,
I want a picture.
say I want your go kart.
I
Yeah,
want
let me
pictures
know.
of your go-kart. Is that...
We'll slap some time
Do you want my
stickers on it
undercarriage
even.
too?
So, a handful of weeks ago, we started into our discussion about generations.
Yes, the named generations.
The named generations.
You mean like
those-
millennials?
Yes, yes. I don't remember which subset we landed on because there's different variations or different categorizations
Right.
of what those are.
And no one agrees. I mean, there's the
Well,
Wikipedia
they
section.
kind of
there's-
overlap.
And there is some overlapping.
Yeah.
I'll agree on the overlapping. But there's also like some bits in the middle of those overlaps that should probably be called their own thing. Like that 78 to 82, 83.
Yeah.
That there's a definite difference to them between the people on either side.
I always think that it's funny that each generation thinks that the previous the generation under them is worthless.
It's usually two after. That's why the boomers
Because
and
I think my kids are worthless
why
because
millennials were fighting so much.
Yeah. No, I mean, like okay, for example, my son was like, "Yeah, it's probably about time for me to get a new bike." And he's 14, so he's going to be turning 15. I'm like, "Okay. Sounds good." And I've been riding his ass. I'm like, "You need to put in some job applications."
Yeah. He could
To
go work at
places.
Taco Time right
I
now.
go, "They're paying
Yeah.
$13-14 an hour."
McDonald's
And
will
so-
hire him.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on that." And like all his friends are starting to get jobs. And then the other day he goes, I'm probably due for a new bike here pretty soon because the pedal broke off that one, and it's because he beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll buy you a brand new bike if you go get a job. If you actually commit yourself to like putting in the applications, do the interview, and get a job.
You make it 3 months, I'll buy you a bike.
Yeah.
Put a time on it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, once he gets a job, then he'll be like, okay, now you keep the job.
Yeah.
Because keeping the job is harder than getting the job.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes a certain amount. Like, I mean, I had work ethic. These kids now, like, I feel like
They don't
don't-
have work ethic.
I don't
there's-
agree. There's a whole bunch of shitbags, but it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Every generation is chock
Agreed.
full of fucking losers.
Agreed.
And there's a few people who have. I was talking to Joe about this at the lodge this morning. I was like, you've got. It seems like these kids don't have any work ethic, and it's not these kids. It's kids every time. We didn't have work ethic as kids, no matter what we want to pretend.
right?
I went to a job.
You're right.
but
You're
I
right.
didn't do
I didn't
as good a
give
job
give
as
my
I-
all at
Right.
at the time, but
And-
I mean, I got shown how to do my job, and I did my job, and eventually, like I
Well,
did my
if you're
job well.
working for somebody else, even as a kid, if you're working for somebody else, you always worked harder than you did for your parents.
Oh
too.
yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'd go like my dad was always annoyed because I'd go stay at my friend's house, and then on the weekends my friend's dad would take us out, and he'd like go logging basically for like firewood.
Uh-huh.
And so I busted my ass for him. When it was for my own dad, when he's out getting firewood, I'm like, "Ugh."
When
I'm
are we
just-
going to be done? Can I get a
yeah,
drink of
is
water?
it almost time to? Then so
I'm
they're like,
sweaty.
I've got other things to do. I'm still that way.
yeah.
If I'm doing something for myself,
Oh,
I'm like, fuck.
My son like acts like I need to make
You're
some
a
plans for
slave
my
driver.
summer.
Yeah, doing
And like-
laundry feels like a fucking chore, and
Yeah.
it doesn't take but 4 seconds of your time.
Yeah,
to
so I
throw
get
it in
home
there.
today. I've been gone all day, right? Sarah's been working all fucking day. And I get home. Kyron's there. He's on the computer or whatever. I'm like, hey, what have you done today? Nothing. And I'm like, okay, you've been here all fucking day and you haven't done anything. Well, no, I was doing homework and I did this and I did that. And that took like 3 hours.
Homework?
Yeah. He's doing summer school, not college. He's getting ahead for next year. He's
Oh.
doing like algebra and something else.
Good idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I mean,
More work
the
ethic
kid,
than I had at that age.
the kid. I'm not okay. There are things that the kid does, and I'm just like, fuck, this kid's got drive. But then when
But
it
then
comes,
there's the- yeah.
then there's things that I'm like, dude, you've been here all day. The kitchen's a
Yeah.
goddamn disaster. Is it like, is it that hard to put your dirty dish in the fucking dishwasher?
Right.
Okay, so
You know what I mean?
Right.
this brings me to my text that I sent my kids yesterday.
Something I say around the house all the time. Is this where this goes?
This is to my boys. Hello, my boys. You're getting to an age now where picking up after yourself is a must, especially when you're in my kitchen. I have enough to do that I have to clean or do than to have to clean up after you. I shouldn't have to prompt you to bring out dishes. It's hot and bugs will come. Last year we had a bug problem. Fucking fruit flies.
Oh yeah, they're
Bane of my
terrible.
fucking existence.
Because of kids.
Yeah, I go and bugs will come. You need to bring them out and rinse them every day. If you make ramen, rinse the pan and put it in the sink. If you use the cutting board, rinse it and put it in the sink. If you make pasta and burn it in the pan, scrub the pan. All these are relative to what I'm finding in the kitchen. I go, always rinse. Seal bags of food you access.
Step by
Like,
step
because I did a
instructions.
video one day where I was like, here's my YouTube, like I'm starting a YouTube channel. This is how you close a Ziploc bag. Because my kids can't seem to fucking wrap their minds. Like, I need this cheese out of here, bag back in the fridge.
Well,
I'm going to let it
and-
all dry out.
And part of it is because it's your own kids, and you feel like I've shown you better than this.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like, does that shit sink in? Did shit sink in when your dad said it? It's not kids these
No,
days.
it's-
It's kids every day.
It's kids. You're right. You're
Kids
right.
are
And
fucking
that's,
shit bags.
So I
They're
go-
freeloading fucking shit bags. All of them.
so I go on to say, try to leave the kitchen better than you found it. Nobody wants me up on their ass all the time. So clean up after yourselves, and I won't be. I don't want to spend 30 minutes cleaning up your messes before I can do anything in the kitchen. It's a little absurd. And I get an okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Will it resonate? That's the thing.
Who knows?
I'm gonna have to say it at least
Okay, sorry.
70
I'll
more
take-
times.
I'll take pictures of the shit in the kitchen and I'll text it to my kids and be like, "Thank you for picking up your fucking mess."
Yeah, yep.
But like, sometimes I think of it in terms of my 2-year-old. Like, sometimes she is just awful
Yeah.
for no reason. But then you think about it, and like the whole 2 years she's been alive, someone has waited on her hand and foot
Right.
and cleaned the shit off her ass and bathed
Oh
her.
yeah. Well, my
But- and
8-year-old
now-
is so fucking spoiled right now. She's in this like real like on this
How old is she now? 8?
8.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
now
she's
they're
in this
expected
phase
to
right now
walk.
where she's
They're expected to pick up after themselves.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I'm only 2.5, and fuck you. You just 2/3 of my life already. You've just taken care of me, and now I
Right.
have to do all this stuff myself. No wonder she's fucking angry all the time.
yeah. Well, my
know,
daughter
and-
was spoiled for a long time, and so then
they
now
talk about the
now it's
terrible
starting to come
twos
to
and-
Jesus with her on some stuff, and it's like a fight because she gets real pouty real quick, and like, and then she'll fight with her brothers, and then she'll come snuggle up with me, and I'll take shit because, like, oh, you cave to her all the time. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I pulled the car over in Texas the other day when we were down for my grandma's funeral, and like she was pissing me off, and I pulled the car over, and I got out of the car, middle of the street, pulled it over, got out of the car, and I like opened up the door. I was gonna give her a spanking, and then but she freaked out enough that I like backed off. I'm like, then just sit in your seat and I'm like, and I just started like laying into her, and I'm like, shut your mouth. I'm tired of hearing it because it was just this bit like back and forth with her brother, and I was done. I'd hit my point, and I was just like, I can't do it anymore. But because she and I have this like dynamic, it sunk in with her because she like values my. Because I don't
Approval.
like I don't break
Uh-huh.
very like I'm not a person that's like always like Rah!
Yeah.
But because I did, it was like, oh fuck, he means business.
Yeah, you stopped the car in the middle of
Yeah.
the street and got
Yeah.
out. But like my 13-year-old is the same. It's like, you know what, motherfucker, you can do your own shit. Like
Yeah.
you're 13. You can get your own fruit punch. Don't make somebody else get that for you.
Yeah,
Like, get
I mean
your
my
own
kids.
shit.
I have my kids in a pretty good self-sufficient mode, but like one of the tweets I had was, I'll have to find it here in a second, but it was because it's in in the Instagram, but let's see if I can locate it quick. It's not too far down.
But like, he loves steak and pasta, and I've showed him how to cook pasta like 11 times already. and I'm like, you can make this. You could do this. It would be okay. Yeah, but you do it so much better. Like, fucking knows my ego too. But it's like just do some
Yeah,
shit
my
for
kids do
yourself.
that shit to me, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
And it's true. Like a sandwich made by somebody else is always better.
Yeah. Okay, so sadly, my children's independence in the kitchen is really only equated to more toast crumbs in my butter tub.
And that's true.
Because it's true. Because they're just
Very true.
they're
But
they
then-
have no mind over any of that stuff. They
But-
just sort of like
But why
me,
should
me,
they?
me, 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 me. And as they're buttering their toast, me. Close it up. If you're lucky, it gets
And
put away.
knives
Yeah.
that
And
sit
not left on the
and
counter.
rub
But you
peanut
think
butter
about
all
it.
over
Yeah.
the counter because they can't be bothered to wipe the
Like,
extra peanut butter
Yours
off
is
the knife.
12, mine's 13. You've got a 15.
I have
and a
almost
12-year-old?
14 and a 13 and a
Okay.
just 13, or almost
And-
almost 15 and just 13.
Now there's
And his
there's,
is
14.
14.
9.
there's two things working there. One, remember how much you thought you knew at 15. Like think about that. Like you
Oh.
knew fucking everything.
Oh yeah, my kid knows everything.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing.
You don't figure out that you don't know shit until you're in your 20s sometime, right? So that's where their mind is. And then they don't have any fucking experience whatsoever. So they don't think about toast crumbs. All they think of is like, shit, there's crumbs in there's crumbs in the butter.
Every
Where
day
did that
I'm,
come from?
I'll make
oh, well.
something in
From
the
you,
kitchen.
asshole.
Yeah.
I'll make something in the kitchen. My kid's sitting in there, and I'm like, "Hey, Kyron, watch this. I cook. I get something out of the fridge. I use it. I put it back in the fridge. When I'm done using it, I get done with my spatula. I rinse it off.
You know what?
So
though?
you'll appreciate this. I came home the other day and Kyron was at our house and they were
Yeah.
in the kitchen and they were cooking ramen, and I don't know, like when I see
And
anybody in
Kyron's
my
Mr.
kitchen,
Gourmet. I swear. Like,
Yeah,
I've never
and-
seen a kid like this kid.
and I'm like, so I'm possessive of my space anyway because it's my, like, I'm the one that like works out of the kitchen most of the time. So I'm like, what's happening here? Like I'm like, what are you guys filming making a Hot Pockets commercial over here? I'm like, get out of my kitchen. There's only like 3, but all 4 of them, like my 2
Kyron
boys,
was-
Kyron and my daughter, all seem to be like right in the kitchen.
Well,
and it's like,
Kyron was probably making like cheese sticks from scratch or something. And-
I think he was making ramen at the time.
yeah,
So
and
just
probably
this-
boiling eggs and putting bacon in it and all kinds of other
ramen
shit.
in Cameron. I showed Cameron ramen, or like putting egg and cheese in your ramen, and he's like, "Oh wow, game
what
changer."
happened? Fucking New World. New World.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's
Dude,
real
I'm-
protein in here. Something to mix with that salt.
I'm not kidding you. My kid, he'll make chicken wings from scratch, and
That's
he'll
crazy.
bread them and make
Wow.
buffalo wings. He'll do cheese sticks. He does his own sushi. I mean, I'm talking. This kid does fucking everything in the
Damn,
kitchen.
dude.
That's awesome.
But he leaves his mess too.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, he's gourmet chef, but he's like, somebody will get this because I'm a
Yeah.
prince.
Yeah,
he's
he'll be
watching enough Gordon Ramsay
He'll
that
be
he's
eating
like,
his
oh,
food,
this-
and I'm like, "What the fuck happened to the kitchen here, Kyron?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that when I get done eating."
No, you're not.
I'm like, "Fuck to you."
Why don't you clean a bunch of that shit while it's cooking in the oven?
That's
How
like
about
I
that?
I took pictures yesterday of weeds in my yard that I'm like, here's what I want pulled, because I've just been like, and eventually the chicken coop's gonna have to get done because now that we don't have chickens, like I have this big overgrown section of just like these big tall growing weeds. But so I'm like, these need pulled, and then I'm gonna go spray. But I need you to pull them. And so, and this was a chore for Cameron, and so he's like, okay, I'll probably do it in the morning because I've got video games to play. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Probably a good idea because it's gonna get fucking hot. And so then like noon rolls around and I'm like, So I sent him a text. I'm like, when are you thinking about getting those weeds? Oh, pretty soon. So then I come out, and so eventually I check about 3 o'clock. I'm like, oh, it looks like he did some of the weeds. So I went out and I looked, and he did some of the weeds. So I did send him a thank you text. I'm like, thank you for getting, I see you got some of the weeds. Thank you. When are you planning on getting to the rest of them? In a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
His
it'll be
fingers probably
fucking
hurt.
They're
triple
still out there
digits
right
in a
now.
little bit.
The weeds are still out there right now. But I'll let him hit them tomorrow. But yeah, kids are the best procrastinators in the world.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In a minute.
I'll get it in a minute.
There's a tattooed on your fucking forehead.
But I get it. Like you're into something and you're like, oh yeah, I've got something I got to do. But that's
As
Oh, yeah.
adults,
Oh,
as
yeah.
adults, we procrastinated all the time. Like I'm like, I need to go to the store today. No, man, I'll go tomorrow.
I'll do that on the way home. I'm like, I got to go to the store and I got to get coffee or whatever it is. And I'm
Right.
like, but fuck, I don't want to stop by the store today. I'll do it in the morning
Right.
on my way to work.
And
No,
I can't
yeah.
do it while I'm hungry because
And
then I'll
it's-
buy a bunch of shit that'll just sit in the
it's gonna-
cupboards forever.
Yeah, it's going to take me 6 minutes to get what I want, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we all do it. It's just
No,
when your
and-
kids
well,
do it, it's like
and-
fucking.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
like,
the
well, I
parent.
told
And a
them
front,
that, but
yeah,
then
you're-
you totally forget that they have their whole own shit going on, and you're just this.
Well, for me,
You're
it's
this.
weeds.
You're this guy that's fucking cutting into their time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I don't fucking care what they have going on. Yeah, I mean,
right. Well, that's me too. But
I'm like, do you live in this house? Then you're gonna fucking do what I want when I want you to do it.
I pulled a play from Chad Daniels' book. I go, when you turn 18, you can live here if you still need to, but you're gonna be paying me $200 a month in rent.
Yeah. Well, by then it'll probably be 400.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The dollar is.
it's gonna be
worth
at least
every day.
half the utilities. And,
But yeah, I mean, fuck
Pick a bill. to pay.
the Avista
whole
bill.
utility.
My Avista bill is fucking nuts. And I know, like, a chunk of it is my son's computer that he built because he built
oh,
this fucking
Kyron told me
behemoth.
the fans in there are just
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah, I mean, he has to have he saved up his money. Good for him, and I'm proud of him for
Is
like.
he mining fucking Bitcoin?
That's what my kid does.
Is he? Does he really?
Yeah, he does.
See,
He
that's
mines
fucking
like
smart deal.
this kid. I'm not kidding. My kid is gonna be a millionaire by the time he's like 35. I swear to God, this kid is. He got me into doing stocks. Okay, my kid who's 14 got
Damn.
me into doing stocks, and he mines. All this kid talks about is money, 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 money. That's all he talks about.
You're gonna have an okay retirement.
Yeah.
Be like, take care of me. Remember who took care of you? Your first
Right.
18
Yeah.
But now he
Yeah.
gets pissed when my returns are better than his returns.
Yeah, I need to look into that. I know you sent me a link to a thing, and I still
Robinhood.
haven't had a chance
Yeah.
to look. But I need to. I
I
need to
was-
start
okay, so
opening my
from-
eyes to investing.
From 1 month ago, as of last week, I was up $1,000 from last month. Okay, just day trading. You can only do 3 trades a month if you have less than 25 grand in whatever platform you're in, right?
Okay.
So, but then I put all my stock. I had 4 grand in there, and I put it all in this $1 stock, and it just started going down. And over the course of one week, I've lost like $500, and I finally pulled it because it's not coming back up. So now I got to recoup my losses, and I'm kind of pissed about that.
You just got to figure out where to put it for that.
I've got 3 or 4 stocks that I deal with, but I like doing cheap ones because you can put more in it.
Yeah.
But and if let's say you have
That's a
$1,000
Chad Daniels joke.
Yeah, it is.
in a $1 stock and it moves a penny, then that's $10.
Yeah.
So and if you have $1,000 in a $2,000 stock and it moves $1, I mean it's not anything. So
Yeah, it's a wild fucking thing right now with like the Wall Street Bets
Mm-hmm.
subreddit and all the
Oh,
weird
yeah,
shit going on
it's-
there. Like, oh, get fucking to the moon, apes, you smooth brain motherfuckers.
But
Like,
I went into speaking of, I went into a GameStop the other day when we were down in Texas, and I'm
They're
like,
still
are these
hurt.
getting smaller? Like I feel like they're every time you walk in, they're like, we're gonna move it in just a little bit. Like
packaging's getting bigger.
the walls are just kind of closing in, and so like eventually you're just gonna walk up and it's just a kiosk.
I can't believe how that one's done. Like, because it's absolutely a meme stock.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
mean,
just-
you walk into the store, they have some okay, they got some controllers and gift card, like
I should
gift
have
cards
picked
and
me up
games
a
on
fucking-
cards. Like that's all that. Like, and they have some fucking pop figures or some shit like that. Like
I hate those
a
fucking
few things. I buy pop, like we have pops,
Yeah.
but they're really a waste of money.
They are.
Yeah, I can think of worse wastes of money, but yeah.
Not
Yeah.
by much.
I
I mean, they're
don't
like
disagree
Beanie
with you.
Babies.
Well, the thing
I'll always make
is
fun of those motherfuckers.
Pops
I think
went
they're
through
a little cooler than Beanie Babies.
yeah. Funko Pops went through this thing
Just
where
one
they
guy's
were
opinion, but
not
not
Are
much
those those
different.
things with the
They're
big
not much
heads?
different
Yeah,
than
I
Beanie
think they
Babies,
were-
but I think they're at least a little
Right.
cooler.
I think they're definitely cooler. I think they were cooler when
They're
there
not
was
little
fewer of them.
Plush Fluffykins, the rainbow unicorn.
They seemed more niche at a point in time, and now they're just like
yeah.
it's an overwhelming market. It's like everything that does anything becomes a pop, and it's like
Well, I don't. To kind of circle back, your sentiment about these damn kids, basically, for lack of a better way
Yeah.
of putting it. It's not just these damn kids, like Chris said. It's all damn kids, but it's also on the flip side of that. Every generation looks at the not
The subsequent
necessarily
generation, yeah.
their parents, but maybe their grandparents' generation is like, God, these fucking out of touch,
Yeah, they're
old fogey.
we
fucks
look at our
who just
kids as
don't understand anything, and Jesus Christ, get with the times, people.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
The generation
it's a
behind us
normal
is
thing.
behind.
Yeah.
They're behind. They're not
Yeah.
caught up, and the generation ahead of us is just
They're just gonna ruin the world.
They're
they're gonna
yep.
fuck everything up.
Look
One
at
of the
what
first-
the fuck they're doing. Oh
The
my
very
God.
first examples of human writing beyond like just accounting was somebody complaining about kids these days. It said the world is going to hell, kids don't listen to their parents, and every man thinks he should be able to write a book.
Yep.
And it's like, that was the gist of it. It wasn't exactly that in the language, but that was the basic translation. And it's like, yep, and that's
And it's
5,000
still-
fucking years
yeah,
old.
it's still going
Right.
on.
Like,
Well, and
people have always complained about their kids. And to me, I'm like, I remember being those ages and how much I knew at 16. Like, I knew fucking everything. I was the
I know.
smartest person in
I
the
know.
fucking world when I was that age. And then you
Right.
get a little later and you're like, there's so much shit I don't know.
Do you ever? Okay,
Like,
so
I'll never understand.
I used to do
half
this
of what
all
there
the
is to
time
know.
when I was younger. Okay, so between about probably 17 until I was in my 30s at least, I would take accounts of the previous year or two, okay? And I would think to myself, right now, I feel so much smarter than I did a year ago or 2 years ago. I haven't done that in ages. I haven't done that in so long, but for the longest time, every 6 months, year, whatever it was, I would take like a mental note to myself.
So
I would
personal
still,
inventory.
yeah. There's because of the podcast and doing it in different periods of time, it was easier for me to kind of reflect a little bit because when I first started doing the show, started it when I was 28, which in my head doesn't feel, because I still feel like 12 years old sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Right.
Like, sometimes you look around a room and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm the adult here, and that's not fucking good.
right, so like I still
How am I a
feel
grown-up?
yeah, like what the
Like,
fuck
when
is
did that
happening?
happen?
But I can look at like things that I did and things that I said when I was 28, 29, and I'd be like, ugh. Or, like those memories on Facebook, like some things will come up like from a few years ago and I'm like, that's on point, man. And I'll share it with you guys or something. I'll be like, yeah, this never rang truer than now.
Yeah.
And I see you do that a lot too. But if I go back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I'll see some of the stuff I was posting about and I'm like, man, you're a little immature.
Delete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shifted my Facebook memories back so it would go back since I started Facebook, and I was in Iraq at the time in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it'll pop up like on this day 11 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I did know more back then. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe I am losing a little bit. Maybe I've lost a step. Because you don't see yourself losing a step either if you don't pay attention.
Yeah.
You keep those mental inventories.
Oh,
and
that's
you're
true.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've advanced here, but man, I've fallen back here.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm
there's
starting
definitely
to get a little
things.
bit of a gut going, and it's like, but when I was 28, I was in the best shape I'd ever been in,
The same here.
and I was so much more capable. And part of that was environment, but
See, I
Like-
grew up really heavy, right? Like heavier than I am now even. And I went through a divorce when I was in my late 20s, and that wiped me out. And wiped
They're
me
tough.
out. All I could do was exercise to blow off steam, right? And so I lost like 115 pounds in like 6 months or something like that. And I remember the first time I did a pull-up, right? And I was working at Geronimo's, and I was on these boxes, and I was like, I'm going to try to do a pull-up. And I was down, I don't know, 70 or 80 pounds or something. And I whipped out like 5 of them in
Yeah.
a row. And I was like, I've never done this before in my life.
yeah.
And
you get
it was the
fucking
most
rock hard,
exciting.
you're
Yeah, it
just
was
like,
the most
"Fuck yeah,
exciting
me."
thing that I had gone through up to that date that I can remember.
Yeah. See, right now for me, I'm like re-entering that. Like, I'm trying to re-enter the journey I went through a few years ago because, when I was 31, I got in good shape. Like, I got in a lot better shape, and then it slowly started to like decline because I just kind of like let myself go and like kind of stopped
And you
exercising as much, and you just kind of like you lose focus on that.
do.
And
you
then
said something about a plateau the other
Yeah.
day, and you hit those plateaus, and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing any change.
not seeing
Yeah.
any
So what am
change,
I
so I'm
doing
just
this
like,
for?
why am I wasting my time?
And
But then
you
it's
hit the decline.
you
because you're
start
like,
to slowly like gain weight back, and you're like, and then at that point you go through those fits and starts again where you're just kind of like, I try to like get back into it, and then you're like, but you're like disappointed, and then you're like, oh, pizza, cool, and so you
One thing that
Pizza
I've
is
learned,
Yeah.
because I've been on both sides of the scale, like immensely on both sides. Like, so I was pushing 300 pounds before I lost weight, and then I was down to about 4% body fat at my climax, right? And when I was at that point, I had zero respect for people that said that I can't lose weight. Zero respect.
oh yeah, your confidence goes through the roof.
Because I'm like, I've been there, and
Yeah.
I know what this is like, and I know if you have the mindset of I'm going to lose weight, you're going to lose weight.
And when you're
Is it
doing
easy?
it, like
No.
No, it's not easy.
But
when you're-
nothing worth doing is.
Yeah.
when you're doing it and you're succeeding at it, like I know because I've been like I hear my like I think back to how I talk, I am obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
Where I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you have to be 100%.
but you almost but you have to, because it's like this mode that you have to get in where you're like self-congratulatory,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're like, yeah, I just did 60 minutes on the elliptical today, or I just did, you know,
Self-congratulatory
My-
is my standard.
my best work, you know, one of my best
Year.
workouts for the year. And so yeah, nice. But so you get in that phase, but then I'm like, I wonder how the people around me that I'm like bragging to feel about it.
Well, yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
everybody.
well, I'd have people come over and party at the house, and I'd be doing push-ups in the middle of the party, you know. And I'm like, I haven't done my exercises yet today. I got to do them, you know. And,
Right.
And they're like, all you ever do is fucking exercise. And I'm like, no.
It's
not
not
all
all
I
I
do.
ever do. In fact, I have way more, like when I'm exercising and in shape, my time seems infinite. I have way, like I manage my time better. I
'Cause
just
you have more
everything.
energy.
Yeah, the energy levels there. Like I get up,
And
I'm like, okay.
You release a lot
and
of happy chemicals in your body, too.
Yeah,
when
your
you're doing
brain
that
is
shit.
just firing on all cylinders, and it's like I'm
Yeah.
gonna fit this little thing in here, this here, and so today was an example for me because I've been like spending the last few days trying to get more active again, and so, like I worked out before we did the show tonight, before we did the show to earn my beer, but it was just like I was like right down to the minute. But I know when I'm in better shape, I can get it even better. Like I'll have spare time. But like I'm starting to be like, okay, this is where I'm going to do this. This is where I'm going to do that. And where I failed or where I slipped before was when we started. Like in 2016, I lost. From 2016 to 17, I lost a bunch of weight. And then in 17, I'm out here exercising. I'm like, and I had spotted the corner in the room. I was like, you know, I could hang up that podcast banner that I have. And I could start the podcast again. So that's when I reached out to Derek. And so like from that point on, my focus shifted slowly. And so I was working out less, or, you know, less consistent. I was still working out because I lost more weight even then after I started doing the show. But then as the podcast became more of a fixture, exercise became less of a priority.
It almost needs to be a religion. Like,
Working out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Arnold
has to be.
describes it in-
It has to
Yeah.
be as important as eating.
As anything else you're doing, yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get my head back
And
into that space.
Eventually,
where, like,
it gets that way. too.
this becomes secondary again, whereas it kind of shifted into this primary. But we've been settled into this space now for over a year,
Yeah.
and I haven't touched anything. And for
Since you moved that fridge, I don't think
for
you've
about
moved
2
anything.
years, I was for about 2 years into the show, I was restless. I was always like modifying the studio and changing things around. And so like I finally found we sit really well in this corner. It's comfortable
Yeah.
and it doesn't take up like the way I had it before. I couldn't really open the shop door and access anything. Now I can actually.
Yeah. And there's
Access.
probably some nights ahead that we could open that while we were doing the show,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
as long as it's not going to rain.
Right. Sideways.
Yeah. Even then.
From the
But
east.
It'd be interesting to have the natural light.
just to see what it looked like.
Neighbors
that'd be-
coming in
that'd
looking.
be
What's going on
Why
over
is
there?
there so much noise? Why did he say cocksucker 17 times in a row? They're watching Deadwood in there?
Right. But no, so I mean, I equate some of the decline to starting the podcast up again initially. And so, like, now I feel like I'm in a place where I can kind of finally balance the two, because I'm like, I have no interest in changing anything around out here.
I equate my decline to laziness.
There's that too. And I really like watching television.
You hit a point when you stop improving visibly and in the way you feel. But that's the point where you just figure out what
Right.
your maintenance work is and do that. It shouldn't be more than 20
Right,
minutes
you hit a
day.
point where you stop improving, but you feel like you should be improving
See,
more, or you wonder what, like, I've done enough research to know what I need to do, but not enough to maybe know what pushes me over the edge to add that extra element of, like,
And usually it's just going really hard about 2 or 3 days a month.
Right.
Like you just shock everything and you let it fucking, you're like, hey, there's times when you're going to need more than what you've got right now. And so here's 2 or 3 times a month. Where
I'm not in the same emotional place that I was.
That helps too.
right.
If you've got a good motivator. But I don't know, half the time your motivation is shot down by just sheer contentment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, life's not so bad right now.
You know what's
like,
weird
let
is
shit
I
go.
remember being back in that era, and if I didn't do my routine in that day, I did it once in the morning and once in the evening.
Mhm.
And if I didn't do my routine,
That fucked up your night. Yeah.
I would just focus on it. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do
You
this.
get
And
super anxious.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like a comfort blanket after a while. And the good thing about using exercise, as much as people criticize that, like, oh, you're just taking one addiction for another, is that one.
That's it.
That one
I was
actually is
addicted.
healthy for you,
I-
because the
that-
endorphins and stuff that you get from that.
I would have to say that's been the only addiction I've ever had was exercise.
Yeah.
And it was a legitimate addiction.
You
Yeah.
get into it and you count on it after a while. Like, I need this at this time.
And right
Yeah.
now I'm forcing it, and more than anything, it's about, like, for me, just because of, like, family history, prevailing health conditions and stuff like that, I want to be on this earth
A little longer.
a little
than you think
longer
you will.
than I could be if I just keep on going the path I'm going.
Mhm.
So if I can do something to offset that and get in better shape, and just and and I enjoy, like, getting outdoors and hiking and stuff like that, and if I can do it and I'm not feeling miserable after I do it, that also is
That
a
helps.
bonus.
Yeah.
I
So-
feel myself getting older.
Yeah,
I'm probably the oldest person in this room.
you are.
Probably.
Yeah, you are.
I fucked up my knee the other day. I have no idea what the hell I did. It still hurts.
Same.
So
Mine's better now, but I was just walking and I got like 2 steps up and my knee, it felt like somebody drove an ice pick in it.
Yeah,
And
so-
my 83-year-old grandpa's in front of me. And I just went, oh! And he's like, are you okay? I was like, I don't know. My fucking knee just hurts.
Yeah, like,
feeling all 40 of my ears right now.
Now it only bothers me at night when I go to bed. I'll lay. I have to lay a certain way, and it doesn't bother me, and I'll wake up fine. But I had to climb up on a couple roofs the day that it started hurting. And they were really steep pitched roofs, and I was walking across the peak, and I had to go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, like 6-7 times on each roof. And at the end of the day, I get home and I'm like, fuck, my knee hurts. It hurts bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. It was like I was hobbling around for 3 days.
Dude, I'm only 36, and if I don't sleep with a pillow in between my knees at night, I wake up the next morning and my hips are killing me.
Oh
Yeah.
man, pillows in, but, like, oh fuck, we went to a place that had one pillow.
Brutal.
Like, we stayed at a hotel that had one pillow for each of us.
Fuck that.
I'm like,
Doesn't work
that's
for
it. I
me.
quit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Sorry.
And then you hear about people dying back in the Middle Ages. You know, the average age was 50 or something. And I'm like, I'm fucking almost there.
yeah, no shit.
Yeah. And if Army years count for 2 years, like they say, I'm already there. And it's like, am I going to die this year? Maybe. Maybe. Sometimes my back feels like it.
Oh, my back is one of the, like, that's the biggest problem for me. Is it, like, 1 minute I'll be going great, my back feels fine. The next minute I'm like, or like, usually I can feel a day ahead of time. Like, oh, tomorrow's gonna fucking
Tomorrow's
suck.
gonna be a back day.
Like and so it's like, oh, okay, I feel it, it's coming, and then the next day, and the following day or two after that are just fucking wasted.
Yeah.
To my back kind of recovering from whatever is going on.
I hate it when you do something stupid like lifting up a glass and it fucks you
Yeah.
Something
up.
tweaks. And you're
I,
just
yeah,
like,
I made a dump run here a couple weeks ago.
You were wiping your ass, weren't you?
I tossed a bike out of the back of the truck just into the landfill and spent the next 3 days being like, man, what a fucking
Yeah, I did
right
a
in
thing.
between my shoulder blades. Just
Yeah.
I don't know, tweaked it.
I did a
God
thing
damn it,
yesterday
really?
where I hopped like the chain link fence about this high, and I'm like I've done it plenty of times when I'm younger, between 25 to 35. I was like, and especially when I was in better shape, I was like, I can hop a fence easy. Like you just grab the poles and just swing your legs over. Well, I did it yesterday.
Did you rip your scrotum?
I almost tripped. I caught my
lost
foot,
a nut.
but I just feel like as I'm landing, I feel my back go. And I was able to walk that one off, but I'm like, man, that was close. And then I came home and was doing a workout on my home gym, and I was wearing shorts, and I got off and caught one of my short legs on the part of the gym that's like the center part that like has the leg sled or whatever. I caught it on there, and I'm moving away from it, and it really like fucked it got my knee to the point where I was like, ooh, am I gonna have to stop? But it kind of worked itself out. But that shit, like, you can be just great, and then in a moment be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's touch and go.
What's really interesting is you can wake up and get out of bed and just be like, oh fuck, man, today's gonna be a day. And then the next day you can wake up and be like, all right, I'm gonna go mow the lawn, I'm gonna go do this, and there's no rhyme or reason, or at least there's not for me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like
No,
why
yeah.
it hurts.
It just,
like,
oh, what's wrong? I don't know. It just, everything fucking hurts today for some reason.
my nervous system is saying fuck me.
Yeah, well, and like right now for me with working out, like you have to you have to push yourself through that like sore phase. So I'm supplementing with like Tylenol in the mornings when I wake up and I'm like sore. I'm like,
Go easy. That's rough on your liver.
Yeah. It's
no, well, I don't pop like 4 of them or anything.
You
like
don't?
that.
No,
I take,
but
I
but I
don't
don't. I don't take Tylenol hardly ever at all. Anyway,
I alternate
So it
between
was like,
Tylenol and Aleve.
I can't with Aleve because I'm on blood thinners.
That
God,
sucks.
this just got real old.
Yeah, right? God
Jesus.
damn.
We're just
I'm gonna-
generation like okay.
I seriously
The-
think I'm
fucking
gonna
X
live
is
forever
already
there.
ready to die.
The generational conversation just turned into
Like,
us being
the-
geriatric.
Other than being
I'm
sore,
gonna take my blood thinners. And yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, I want to get ultimately be part of where I'm loaded onto a disc or something.
oh, that'd be cool.
That's
Oh,
my
the-
son's grand dream,
the,
and has been for
Transcendence.
several years.
Yeah,
And
or what's
What
it?
was
What's
that
it called?
sitcom
That's
that?
what it's called,
Transcendence.
Transcendence.
No, I was just talking to somebody about this.
The Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Transcendence.
There's
but
there's that new sitcom.
San
when they
Junipero. Is that the
digitize
one you're thinking
our
of, the Black Mirror episode?
consciousness.
The cookies.
Yeah, the singularity. The
Oh.
singularity
Ah,
is what I'm thinking
okay.
for the name of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Transcend. They're one and the same. It's basically the same thing where you're uploading your consciousness to.
Upload. That's what it's called.
But-
Have you guys seen?
Oh,
Upload?
that's a great show. Upload on
What's it-
Prime.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually not a bad
I'll
show.
give it a look.
Yeah,
Is-
there's supposed to be a
is-
second season
what's
coming out.
the rating? Where does it land?
Probably 6.5 to 7. I would.
What do you
Oh,
mean,
no,
like-
I mean for ages.
Oh,
I
it's-
don't know what you show your
I would say
kid.
PG.
Okay.
I don't know about that. There's some pretty
He's 13, and I've been pretty.
I'm pretty loosey goosey
I'm
with my kids.
Way better than
The hardest, the
my
worst part's the
operating
one
was.
where the 13-year-old kid turns in, or the 9-year-old kid turns into like a 14-year-old little girl or something like that, and she's walking around topless, but there's no real tits. It's like she's pretty flat, but she's like walking around, hey, what's going on? And she doesn't know that It was a boy that turned into a girl.
Yeah.
And he doesn't
I'd
know
let my
that
kids
happened.
watch it, but again, my barometer is kind of all over the place in terms
Like-
of that.
Kyron, I don't give a shit what he watches because I mean he can watch whatever the fuck he wants on his phone anyway. And so
That's the thing.
You know,
I
sometimes
mean,
I wonder, like,
I'll
what-
let my kids watch Rick and Morty. I'll let them like half the shit. Like if they get it, great. Some of it's gonna go over their head.
yeah.
Some of it's gonna be like, I mean, there's stuff like I there's some stuff in Solar Opposites that I'm like, like,
yeah,
I caught with my kids when I was watching with them. I'm like, you can watch this, but I'm not watching it with you. You gotta like you can watch this, but we can talk about. Oh, it was funny, but we don't want to talk. Like there's scenes in there that I'm like,
I'm not going to explain to you why it was funny.
right.
Well, like, and we watched Invincible, and that was all right, but that's cartoony. I know it's pretty gory,
It's
but it's
mostly
also
just-
So-
cartoony.
It's mostly
So like my kid and I, we were watching Norseman. Have you guys ever
ultra-violence.
seen that?
Is that the
the-
comedy on Netflix?
Yeah.
I
It's-
watched one episode and I was like, eh.
It has its ups and downs, but there's one part where this chick, the town's getting raided by these other Vikings, and the chick in the show, she's like, "Ooh, I just got a clip boner," and my kid's like, "What?"
You're just
what now?
you're just roaring, and your kid is like,
yeah.
You're laughing about the man in the boat and he doesn't understand.
And I was like, "Clip boner, Kyron." I was like, "This is some funny shit."
well, apparently, I think your friend group is okay at school, is what I would reply. Like you're probably running with some safe kids because if you haven't,
It'd be all right.
yeah,
Not burning down any buildings today.
yeah,
You'll-
I mean, yeah,
You'll
that's
figure it out in about a year or two, Karen.
There'll be one
Just
looking
don't
right in
Google
your
it,
eye.
please.
Yeah. That's a dick, Dad.
You don't want to see those Google results. I don't
That's-
think anybody does.
That's what he would say too. He'd be like, "That's a fucking dick."
Speaking of popping,
clip boner.
That show, it really is. It's if you like that style of humor, it's such a great show. Oh man, it's funny.
Yeah, Upload was good. I enjoyed that. I think there's a second season coming soon.
C, have you guys seen C?
On Apple TV.
Yes,
I haven't watched it yet. I
it
keep.
is so good.
Is it good?
And the second season comes out August 27th.
Have you watched Mythic Quest yet?
No, I've never even heard of it.
That's an Apple TV show. Watch Mythic Quest. It's
I'm
got
gonna look it up.
Ron McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Okay.
is the creator, and the guy that Abed from Community's in it, and the guy that plays Cricket in Always Sunny is a regular in it.
Rickety cricket.
And
good old cricket.
it's a good
Making out with
show.
dogs.
God, that Always Sunny is one of the
I love
most
that show. It's so great.
intelligent,
Absolutely.
dirty show. Like it's super dirty, but like the way that they fleshed out the evolution of cricket throughout the entire series. Like, I mean, there's
Tori and
brains
I
at work.
Tori and I were talking about it just the other day about the one where they quarantine because they think they're all getting sick, but it winds up that they're all just going through DTs from not drinking because
Yeah.
they think they're sick, so they shouldn't drink beer. And it just keeps perpetuating. They get sicker and sicker. It's fucking so funny.
That was such a that show was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Really,
it's still
honestly, if you look, and it's still on,
Yeah, it's remarkable that it's still on and still
relevant.
doing well.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen a few episodes of that.
Oh, it's
Yeah. You have to get through to the second season because Danny DeVito shows up.
I
and
only-
it's just,
no, Matthew, you may not.
I only discovered it probably 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
So it was already like
you had a good chunk. of
9
shit.
episodes or 9 seasons or so deep, and so by the time I discovered it, I was like, I just watched them all in succession.
I started.
Yeah.
I think I started watching it on TV in season 3. might have been season 4, but I think it was season 3.
I like how I say discover. I knew of its existence, but I only.
But it
Like
was another
Pluto.
one of those ones.
But
that
it was one of
people
those
talked
ones
about,
like
and
you're
"Fucking
talked
you
about. It's like
people are
I'll get
insufferable, so I don't think
yeah,
I'll watch
exactly.
that."
I had a friend.
Rick and
that
Morty's the same
lives-
way. It took me a while to
Yeah.
get on board with Rick and Morty,
Yep.
but it's actually a really fun show.
There's another season of that coming out.
I
soon.
watched
That
it. Just started last
Yeah,
night.
Oh, did
or
it?
Monday
started on
or Sunday.
Yeah,
What's that on?
Cartoon Network.
It's Adult Swim,
But
what
you
does
can
it-
watch all 4 seasons on Hulu,
Okay.
or HBO Max has them too.
yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna check
I,
out my special
I had a
website.
friend that
Maybe I'll take a look.
lived outside of Philadelphia that was a big fan of that show and
Oh yeah,
was from pretty much the moment that it started was trying to get me
into
to
it.
watch it. We were internet friends through the online wrestling stuff,
Mhm.
and
I think it depends on
gotta
who
play
you
the
talk
troll
to
tool.
about it. Like
Yeah.
who's pushing you to watch it too.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's certain people will push and push and push, and I will not watch it just because they're pushing so hard, whether or not I agree with them or whatever. But if I hear 11 times that I need to watch something from you, I'm probably not going to watch it because it's at that point where it's like I'm done being told,
Right.
and so I'm just never going to watch that. And I kind of that way with like Scrubs.
yep.
I never watched
Same.
Scrubs because
I never watched
one of
it.
the
I've never
douchiest
seen
people
it.
I ever met was a
Was-
huge Scrubs fan, and his whole personality was a cross between the main guy from that and
I-
Peter Griffin,
I fucking
and it
hate
was just
Zach Braff.
annoying. His,
Yeah.
his entire persona was bullshit.
I watched one episode of that and it was a musical, and I'm like, I'm done. Can't. Do
Well,
it.
and I don't know that show holds up.
I have
And we
no
talked
idea.
about we've talked about shows before, like that Superstore show. We talked. I think it was in you and I were just doing that solo show. We talked about how Superstore existed and went away, or like was in its like.
It's
It
still
was one of
on.
those things where where
right?
we were like,
yeah,
that's still
It's
on.
What?
And
I
like
thought that got canceled
America
years ago.
Ferrera was on it, left it, came back
Yeah.
for like the finale, and I was like, I didn't even know she left.
Mm.
Like, and
Who's
apparently,
that?
what's that?
Who's America Ferrero or whatever?
Ugly Betty.
Yeah.
If that's a more, but even that is like niche, I
Yeah,
guess.
that
'Cause
sounds like
Wasn't
a
a terribly
high
popular
schoolish
show.
Yeah,
When you do get to a point where you're like, I don't want to watch fucking kids do
you
stuff
disconnect
anymore.
from what's on television.
Like Stranger Things hits that nostalgia button real hard, but other than that, I really don't want to see kids doing things. I don't care.
Well,
Right.
Like they're not my
most of
kids,
the
so I don't give a
time-
shit.
Most of the time, kid actors are just.
They're terrible.
Stranger
fucking
Things really hit
worst.
a home run in their casting, but
Man.
So that first year, especially
The
it's-
first one was good. I couldn't get into the second season.
the
I
second
didn't
wasn't
like it
too
as
bad.
I didn't like it as much.
But they did that whole like I'm gonna go be a '80s punk
Yeah,
thing with her, and
It was
then the third one
so
was just not that great.
poorly done.
Yeah, it was
With the
I
bizarre-
haven't even tried the third one.
Yeah, and I don't know how 4 is gonna go.
There,
They
I feel
really did well that
baited
first
with the
season.
fourth one because they've just like I feel like it's drug on too long between
Maybe.
seasons.
Oh,
Kids
yeah.
are gonna be in
Like
college.
those kids, yeah, they're
Well, and Hopper is in a Russian gulag,
yeah.
and I'm sure he's gonna have to fight like demi-dogs or something in there. So we'll see how that goes. But it's like, I don't know.
I'm waiting for Ozark.
Oh,
I see season 3 on that. I kind of petered out, and I just never finished watching it.
Oh, the
Yeah.
finale
Oh, the
of
finale
season 3.
picks up.
Oh
Is
my
it?
god.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets a little drolly in the middle, but the last 3 or 4 episodes are pretty good.
Yeah, there-
And then at the end you're like, "Oh my fucking god."
I can't get me enough of Jason Bateman though, man. Like even in that fucking movie with Melissa McCarthy where he crab walks off the
that was
the
fucking. He
screen.
was hilarious.
that was
That movie was way better than it had any right to be. It wasn't good.
it wasn't good, but
was
there was stuff in there
way
like
better.
especially
I had such low
anytime when
expectations.
he was in a scene where he was like chewing the scenery. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Well, and I
His little
wasn't
crab
gonna
walk
watch it,
was-
but Jenny
It was
turned
just
it on
so
one night.
funny.
And then
Like
I
I
was
had
this
to
isn't bad.
I had to
didn't even
zap
fall
that
asleep.
back because like I'm busting up. My wife didn't catch it. My kids didn't like. My kid didn't catch it. I'm like,
It's-
I'm like, he
yeah,
just
He's
crab walked
doing-
off the screen.
so fucking funny.
But yeah. Oh fuck.
You lost it. You had it and you lost it.
Ozark. Anyway, Bateman, Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Right, you are,
Um,
Cotton.
I just never couldn't. I don't know. Couldn't get into it. Tried.
You got to choke down the first 3 to 4 episodes really before it starts getting good, and then